Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. It's very early in the morning. The dawn chorus is already awake, as you can hear the birds around me probably. And this morning I'm hopefully going to get my first tench of the season. Now it is still very cold, and this morning it is about 4 degrees. So still very chilly. But I've heard 1 or 2 reports that the odd tench has been getting caught, and that's just spurred me on to want to do this session today. Let's get cracked on and we'll go through exactly what I'm doing to try and catch my first tench of the season. It was a very cold Easter morning and actually forecast to be very bright sunny later on in the day, which I knew would make the fishing very difficult. And for this reason I brought 2 setups with me. One of them was a ledgering setup that I could just cast out to an area of the canal and kind of forget about it. And the other rod we were using was a bog standard float rod. There is no better way to catch tench than on the waggler. And the rig was super simple. I had a single float stop up the line, then a crystal waggler threaded on, and then we had a bulk of 3 BB shots about 3/4 of the way down the rig, and then about 4 inches above the hook I had a number 6 dropper shot. And I was plumbing this rig up, so it was about 4 to 5, maybe 6 inches over depth, which I find is the optimum depth for fishing for tench on the canal. There is a little bit of tow, and having that shot down there 4 inches above the hook just helps to keep that rig in place and to stop it from drifting with the flow of the canal. We have a fish on, but unfortunately it is not the tench we're after. It is the tench's best mate, old skimmy bream. I'm hoping that's not ruined the swim. Not a bad size one for the canal, I will say. Oh, nice old chunky canal bream on a really cold end of March morning. It's actually, it was only about 4 degrees when I came out this morning. Real chilly, my fingers are bitter, and that's a beautiful fish, I will say. Well, it may not be the tench that we're after, but it is a lovely fish to catch from the canal. And there we have it. You can barely see me because of the size of this fish. Big old frame on it, and it gave one of the most stereotypical tenchy looking bites you've ever seen in your life. The float slowly dipped and rose very slowly until it sank under, and I thought for sure that was going to be a tench, but never mind. Look at that, absolutely cracking canal fish. Probably a bream of around £5. Let's get him back. The sun had finally risen and it was very bright. It really didn't help the fishing. The water was gin clear, and actually I couldn't really see any fish in the swim whatsoever. And then we got a blessing in disguise. So normally when a boat comes through your swim, it kind of puts a dampener on things. It muckies it up. If you're stalking fish or if you're lure fishing, it can actually make the fishing a lot more difficult. But in this instance, it actually pushed the tench into the margins, and finally I could see the fish. I decided to be proactive and instead actually throw out a few maggots straight on top of the tench I'd just seen in the margin, and then cast my waggler straight over the top to try and snipe one of these showing fish. Yes, that's a tench.
That's a tench. That's a tench. We just stood up watching the swim because I saw a couple of tench coming close. I threw some maggots right out in front of me and I decided to sit the float over the top of it. Oh no, he's gone right underneath these snags, look. Thankfully the reeds aren't very well established yet because it's not been warm enough. Look at that tench go. That's what we're after today. Come on. Yes! Yes! First tench of 2024. It's not a bad one either for the canal. Ouch! And it flipped the hook out with a bunch of worms right into the tip of my finger. Not the biggest tench in the world, probably a fish of around about £4. Kind of stalked in a way. The sun came out, a boat came through. I noticed the tench were feeding right close in actually, not far from the bank. They'd been pushed into the margins because of the boat. So I chucked in a handful of maggots, chucked the worm over the top of a couple of feeding fish, and it didn't take long before it sank under. And finally, the sun brought out a beautiful, beautiful tench. Much better than that bream. Right, let's see if we can get one or two more this session.
It's important when you're doing this style of fishing on a natural venue. Watch out for fish topping, swirls in the margins, the reeds knocking, and most prominently when you're looking out for tench, look out for those patches of real fizzing bubbles coming up.
Well, I put on a worm and I think I've got a perch. It looks like a good perch actually. Yeah, it is. Yes, damn right, I'll take that. Jeez, that is a pot belly perch. Look at the size of this toad. Calm down. Hooked up really nicely, which means I'm fishing a good depth, because it means I must be fishing just over depth, not too deep, because I didn't deep hook him. And look at the size of the belly on that thing. That is friggin' huge. Might have to get a weight on this fish. Jesus, I'm surprised that thing can swim. Well guys, would you look at this absolute lunker? Look at the belly on this thing. Absolutely huge. Now it's not a massive fish in length, but it makes up for it in girth. Now I did actually try and have another cast out to see if there was any other perch out there. And unfortunately I've not had a bite yet, but the sun just went in behind the clouds. So it was a perfect picture opportunity to show you guys. It's becoming a multi-species session today. Bream, tench, now a great big fat perch. Actually only went £2 4 ounce, but it's probably a fish of about 39 centimetre. Absolute unit. Right, this fish is probably going to get spawning soon, so we'll put a straight bag, but what an awesome session this is turning out to be. And that was when I put on the biggest worm in the box. Big worms, big perch. Right, let's see if we can get another tench now. That's what we're after today. Well guys, the sun is setting and it looks like it is about to get dark, probably within the next hour or so. Today has been a fantastic session. I caught a great big slab bream, a lovely tench, which is the first tench of the season and very, very early actually, and a fantastic big fat female perch that went over £2. So can't really complain. Now, I'm a little bit gutted I couldn't catch more tench, but the reeds haven't even started growing yet. That's how early on in the season it is. Normally I don't even start fishing for them until about May. So this is very, very early. So fantastic session. I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Maybe you took away something from this video. I don't know. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you guys later.